A rhyming poem, when it's trite, is not trite because it rhymes. It's trite first. It's a bad poem that happens to rhyme. It is not trite because it rhymes. It's trite first. Why is that? Because the main force of the rhymed and metered poem lies neither in the rhymes nor the meter. And this is tough to talk about, but I do want to. It lies in the way, everybody knows this, it lies in the way the poem happens to roll out, the marshaling of energy and meaning across the page. Meter and rhyme are embroiled and embroiled in all that, but they're not identical to it. So the meter and rhyme will give flavor, it will be right in the center of what the poem is, but it's the main thing where you're looking at, the main reason when you're reading a poem that it strikes you is because it strikes you, because it happens in a certain way. Make that happen, rhyme with meter, cool. Here's Willa Cather writing to a friend in 1915. She's among the first US audience of Robert Frost's book, North of Boston. And she gets it. She gets it. She says, "Isn't North of Boston a real thriller?" How about that? Calling a book of poems a real thriller. I love that. And she says, "Such individual verse, and all made out of the cold Twilight Zone stuff that one has always thought pale matter for poetry." Parenthesis, I don't, of course, mean the avowed subject matter, but the unavowed, Frost's own mental reaction. So she's responding to that weird feeling that a lot of Frost poems have, the Twilight Zone stuff. The book is so important and so devoid of splendor. Out of this shabby, ungrammatical new bunch of people writing poems right now in 1915, it's so amazing to find someone who can write verse in such real, tight, tough verse as it is. Individual syncopation, individual intervals, queer swell in the middle of the line. She's damn right about that, by the way. Read Frost and feel that strange marshaling of energies in his lines. He writes very strict meter, and he doesn't stretch for rhymes most of the time. His rhyming words are not especially original because that's not how he understood writing verse. What he understood was when you accept the task of writing verse, there's a certain amount of rules that you obey, that you've decided to do that. He called free verse playing tennis with the net down. Now, I wouldn't go that far, but that's his understanding. You're writing something that you've decided is going to take a shape. Okay, let's take the shape. But the point is, what makes Frost Frost is not the shape. What makes Frost Frost is Frost, how it moves. What makes Frost Frost is how that energy happens, how it swells, that queer swell in the middle of the line. Then a dreary flattening out of words to offset it. The atmosphere, the mental atmosphere, is a little like Chekhov, don't you think? Awfully damp, marshy mind with June bugs. Lots of cheerful things too, but he's really, truly poet with something fresh to say, and it's fine that he came along. So all I want to say about that is, here's someone who got it. Is that what makes, she doesn't say, oh yeah, he's a great rhymer. She says, when I read him, I'm in for a ride. If you can do that, that's what you do with rhymed poetry, and what